let's try this again. I just recorded the whole video and the sound bugged out for some reason, but now it seems to be working okay. So I don't know what happened there before. Anyway, we're just going to start off on the main page of D2JSP, which is here. Don't mind the colors. I use a background color changer so that it's not always bright white. Anyway, you first create an account. After you do that, you can see up here, form gold, that's the amount of gold that you have. Messages, how many messages you have. You're going to start with 0, obviously. You can get gold by selling things, or you can purchase it from the website. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Diablo 2 forums. So here we go. There's lots of other games, but we're going to focus on Diablo 2, and then we're going to go to Hardcore US East Trading. So let's go in there. And now you can see all the different auctions that are going on for in the Diablo 2 USE server. Let's start off with these tabs up here. You have all, which shows every type of product or service available. And let me just quickly go into detail on what each of these does. FT is for trade. That means if you have something for trade that you want people to buy from you, you would click on you would click on for trade if you're looking for stuff that's available. These are things that people are trading that you can buy. Sorry about that. ISO is in search of. That means these are things that you can sell to people because they are in search of items. Services are things like leveling services. If you want to give somebody your account to level for you or just run you through a certain area, this is very common. A lot of people do this. Price checks. If you have a question about the value of an item, you can do a price check. So if you click on one of these, it will show you all of the relevant auctions going on. So I hit for trade. So this is all stuff that people are currently offering right now. So let me go ahead and show you now how we make our own auction. And to do that, let's say I want to get myself a 5-socket hammer, because I do need one. We're going to go to New Trade up here. We'll click on that. And now you will see that you have two options right off the bat. Trade type. Selling items or buying items. So it's asking you, are you selling an item, which is FT for trade, or are you buying an item, ISO? So currently I am buying an item, so we're going to check that. That'll indicate where to put it, which category. Topic title. Let's call it ISO, and then you see some of my other items I was shopping for here, but we're going to put the 5 open socket hammer. And then description, you can put that. If it's a little more complicated of a transaction, you can just put a few more details here, and people can actually see that before they even click on the post. They can see it in the main area here. So like this guy right here, you can see that he is a little bit more details below his main post name. What else do we have here? Post message. You just put in the message whatever you want, any kind of details. There really isn't much to say about this particular item. If you need to add more details or whatever, you just put it in here, and then you hit post new trade, which I did just a moment ago, and I'll show you up here where I already did it. So I did not add any details. I just said in my main post area, I said I need a 5-socket hammer. And then I just said LMK price, which LMK means let me know the price. That's a little bit of terminology you'll see getting thrown around here. You'll also see T4T, as in like this. Sometimes you'll see somebody say T4T. That just means thank you for trade. After you post this, you now and again want to just refresh, see if anybody posted on it, which they have not. If they do, they either will message you up here in your messages, and you'll see that you have a new message. It will also indicate to you very, with like a little post box. It'll say very obviously, like, hey, you received a message from this person or that person. Or they will post in your actual topic area here, which is the more preferable way, because then it keeps it out in the open so everybody can see it. then you can, it's very common if somebody says to you, like let's say somebody says to me, hey, Ipishu, which is my username there, I have what you're looking for. I will just say something like PM'd, like you might see me just post just something like that, just PM'd, but I post it on here, and that just means I personally, message them, sent them a PM, just confirming either the price, and then usually when you want to send them a message, you'll go up to message, like you can click on their name, which like right there, you just click on that and then hit send message, which is over here. I'm not actually showing that part because I don't want to click on any of the users' names without their permission, show them on stream really, just in case they don't want to be on stream. So you would click on their name, hit send message, and it's really straightforward. The only thing that might be a little confusing at first is how do you check your gold? Which just again, it's up here. You just hit F5 and refresh, and if somebody sent you gold, that number will instantly change. It's on the fly, very quick. So as soon as you see that change there, you can say, oh, okay, somebody did send me my gold that I needed, or also it'll show up in messages saying such and such person sent you, and then the amount of gold. Also, if you want to send gold to another person, you can click next to their username. So let's say you were viewing me right now and you said, oh, there's Ipishu and I want to send him 10 forum gold. You would literally click these little this little icon of gold and then give gold amount. You just type in however much you want to send to Ipishu and then submit gold transfer, and that's it. It's really very straightforward. Not a whole lot to it. What else is there? Oh, now the actual trade. This is where it can get a little scary for some people, and understandable, because you might be saying, well, is this all about trust? And yes, there is a lot of trust that goes on here, but there are ways to minimize getting scammed. It does happen. It's never happened to me, but that's because I'm very careful and I know what to look for. So, if you're trying to get if you're trying to trade with somebody where you want to make sure that it feels pretty secure and everything, the best thing you can do is look at their profile, which again is in the post right there. So you don't even need to actually click on them. You just look at their name. So again, you will see my information, and everybody else is the same way. First thing that you want to look at is the amount of posts. I have 161 now. That's at least a pretty good amount. It's past, 20, 30. It's up there now. It's like, okay, he's been around. He's done quite a few trades, not just like 5 or 10. This guy's been doing quite a bit of trading, or at least you would assume so for how much I've said. The next thing, or how much I've posted, I mean. The next thing that you definitely want to look at is the date that they joined. So as you can see, I joined in 2011. There's a lot of accounts on here that are back in like 2005, maybe even 4, very old. That pretty much is a given that they are very trustworthy because they haven't been banned, and the chances are they also have a lot of gold, because you want to see how much gold they have too. If they have 0 gold and their account is fairly old, you can still probably trust them if they have a good amount of posts. You got to really use common sense here, people. If it feels like, that seems like they've been around and they seem experienced, you can probably go for it. It's very rare to see an old account, such as like, even mine, to be empty of gold, but it does happen. But even so, again, look at the posts and the joined, and that's usually at least a good indicator. Another thing is that if, on the flip side, if their account is very new, let's say, for example, earlier today, I did a trade with a fella, and his account was about 2 months old, versus mine, which again is 2011 here. Obviously, I have been around in the trading scene longer than he has, and that kind of gives me priority in terms of trust. And what does that mean? What am I describing here? Well, let's hop into game real quick, and I'll kind of give you an idea. If I am the older account, and for the example, the guy that is only 2 months old, earlier tonight, I was buying runes from him, and I bought quite a few runes. I bought all of these right here from him, and he was asking, I don't remember, I think like 180 JSP for it, something like that. Um, so he wants 180 gold, forum gold, from me. And when I looked at him, I said, well, this guy's only 2 months old. I don't really trust him that much. I mean, that's not very old at all. And he had a fair amount of posts, but it was still enough to where I'm much older in my account history than he is. He's very, very new by comparison, and I don't want to go first. And he knew this. He knows how it works, and I was glad because I didn't have to sit there and tell him, hey, you need to go first because my account is older than you. Um, and so instead, he pretty much came right into my game, right here, and he knew that, and just started dropping the runes right on the ground. And yes, I could rip him off. I could pick up all his items off the ground and just leave the game. But obviously, um, if we were talking back and forth on the forums here, and then all of a sudden it goes from, yeah, I'll talk to you in game and stuff like that, we're going back and forth, and then he says, hey, this guy ripped me off, there's, people are going to be like, hey, and it gets around. People that rip off other people, they listen. People do listen, and they want to know about that stuff, and, obviously I wouldn't do that. So, instead, you don't have to do it exactly like this, but I prefer where after he dropped all the runes on the ground, and I thought, okay, he has gone first, that is good, I picked him up, and then I sent him the gold. And so he did, in effect, lose his runes for a moment and have absolutely nothing until I went on the forum, and then generally this is how it works. They come into the game, and you want to say something like, because my account name is Ipishu, I'll say Ipishu here, and then they will say such and such here, so like Frostshocker, if Frostshocker was to come into my game, he would say Frostshocker here, and I'd be like, oh, okay, that's the guy from the forums, because not everybody's name matches the forums. In fact, most of them don't. So after we have got that initial confirmation out of the way, then that's when you can begin the trade. And again, after he gave me the runes, I then went on to JSP here and sent him the gold. And after you send him the gold, usually just say sent like that, and he will verify. And then the next thing you'll see is T4T usually, like thank you for the trade. And then that's it. So it's pretty straightforward. That's a friend of mine messaging me. I will answer him in a moment. Otherwise, I don't think there's much that you really need to worry about. Again, it's just mostly pay attention to the age of the account, how many posts, how much gold they have, and if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Nobody's twisting your arm to make those trades. Just do whatever you feel comfortable with, and you should be okay for the most part. So hopefully that helps, and if you have any other questions, go ahead and ask.